Well, thank you very much for giving me that opportunity so quick. I was surprised. Yeah, I'd say I've worn so many bows in my life. Uh, and I think I was trying to discover who I really am, but doing that with everybody else's eyes and minds and all that. And I ended up dabbling into different things: tourism, nursing, mentoring, um, coaching, and basically I each time I tried a different thing. By the time I realized that this is not me, I struggled a lot in facing up to the reality that you actually can make a mistake and you can come out of your mistake and correct yourself. It was very difficult for me to, acknowledge having made a mistake or having failed. And I reached a point 2017 where I felt like I was in a really big rat race trying to please the world. And yet I kept thinking, there's more to me than this. And I was looking at other people I was working with as a mental health nurse and thinking the same thing. There's way more to this person I'm talking to than they realize. And I started feeling that as a mental health nurse, I wasn't really, my passion was to establish a community of people who believe in themselves, who believe in what they are doing to be enough and what they want to be worth, pursuing. And unfortunately, we're living in that world where we think the value of ourselves depends on how many people out there are like that, how many people out there believe in it, or how many people out there are doing the same thing. So we then create this vicious cycle of making very big efforts at things that we believe are very big, but not big for us. And we end up just going round and round in circles. So I started writing my feelings because I felt I didn't really have anybody who was going to listen to me as the real me. And in the process of writing, I then realized that the one thing that was hindering me being me and being happy being me was my mindset. And my mindset had been built by other people, not by me. We could start off with parents, we could start off with communities. As an African woman, I think we all tend to actually have one kind of mindset, which is tradition based. And we pass it on to our children, pass it on to our neighbors without questioning it. And we create that community of highly dysfunctional people who go around pretending that they are actually functional. So I then decided, you know what, I'm going to go back into coaching. This time I'm not going to call myself life coaching because at the end of the day, what is life? I need to be specific. I want to coach people to transform their mindsets. I want to work with people who are struggling to be individuals, to actually believe what they want to believe and be unapologetic about it. Because from my personal experience, once I started doing that, I was able to explore a lot of things. Like I said, I was writing. I started writing as a way, as an outlet, so to speak, therapeutic outlet, expressing myself where I felt I couldn't express myself to people. And where I am now, I actually realize you can make money out of writing because, trust me, from life experience, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're going through, somebody else is going through the same and thinking the same thing. So if you give yourself that platform, put it in writing, put it out there, you will have somebody you can actually relate to. And you bring yourself outside of that competitive world. We shouldn't really be competing because I believe everybody was created for a specific thing, but we're all going in the same direction, competing over the same things. So I, at the moment, am creating a hub where people can come. It's almost similar to what, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, Shakil. Yeah, it's almost similar to what you're doing. Initially, I'd started doing it in my community where we used one activity to bring people together, and that's crafts. I like creating things, especially from old things, making new things out of it, and that helps your mind to explore. So I was having people coming together in a community center, and we would just get one person showing everybody what they can do, what they are passionate about, but they have pushed it to the back burner because they think so and so is going to think it's stupid, so and so is going to think it's backward or whatever. And in that process, we create a comfortable atmosphere where people are able to express themselves without feeling that they'll be judged. That was a prerequisite. And then coronavirus came, we had the lockdown, and I thought, oh, that's it. But then I said to myself, if you're going to be coaching people to transform their minds, do something about this lockdown. So I decided to go on Facebook. Wasn't very good at it, but I created a page there where then I started continuing the same thing that I was doing in one community center, doing it live like we're doing now, sharing my own skills, sharing my own experiences, my stories, and getting people to open up and talk about whatever and share whatever skills they have. And I was surprised that response was like from right across the world. And I talk about subjects that a lot of people avoid for whatever reasons. With me, mostly it's culture based. I talk a lot about domestic violence. I talk a lot about discrimination, isolation, exclusion, and these things. I just openly talk about them from my own personal experience. I don't judge anybody, but I do that so that people can actually start to look at things from different perspectives. And I always finish by encouraging people to explore themselves. This world is for everybody. So what am I saying in a nutshell is I'm a mindset transformation coach who's had a lot of experiences in different areas of life. And so I'm actually able to listen to people, and I'm actually able to facilitate them listening to themselves and expressing themselves and exploring themselves, because I believe our complete health, we were talking about health, our complete health is in us feeling complete as ourselves. If I'm complete, you're complete, everybody's complete, competition gets reduced right to the bottom, and we then all freely do what we're supposed to do. And this is who I am at the moment. I'm a mental health nurse by profession, and I'm in transition from working as a nurse to full-time coaching. While we were sharing, I actually picked a few people that I think would be very useful to me. Is it Tahira?
You definitely need to speak to Tahira
About your writing, because
you're a writer. And
yeah,
works with writers.
I'm working on a project with some migrant communities here in West Midlands, where we are going to do like a book where people write their little stories, and we're going to combine pictures, items, and then do like an exhibition in February, so that we start to address this isolation, discrimination, and exclusion, because I think it's all about misconceptions. If we start expressing ourselves and we start listening to each other, maybe some of the things that push us to discriminate on each other will be addressed that way. So yeah, Tahira is one person I noticed that I know I'm gonna need to link up with, And then there's oh, what's his name? Who is helping small businesses?
Federation of Small Businesses. That's
Yes,
Zach
because
Frank.
as much as I have this skill of storytelling, of listening to people, of facilitating people doing what they do in terms of shaping up a business and molding it and all that, I'm not very good. And this is why I'm hoping that.
Well, that's what we can have a talk about that, because one of the things that I do
Yeah.
is I help new coaches develop their business.
Okay. Yeah.
So
And
I do a lot of that.
Okay. My strategy is coming from the perspective that people think I have failed once, that's it. It's not it. People think I have fallen, I can't get up. That's not it. If I tell you 2017, I was in a car accident, and for 2017, yeah. And from 2017 right up to June this year, I was walking on crutches. I was basically told, oh, we can't do much for your leg. The injury is that bad. We can't do anything. What we're going to do is help you to deal with the fact that you're always going to walk on crutches and refer you to pain management and all these things. And for about 3-4 months, I believed it. I gave up. I got depressed. And then one day I said to myself, seriously, who is this person to tell me what I can and what I can't do? And why am I accepting it without trying something? And I started walking with the walking stick. They said, oh, you're going to make yourself worse. This time we've operated on your leg 3 times. If you disturb it this time, we can't do anything more. You're just going to end up in a wheelchair. And I thought, you know what? I'll only say it can't after I've tried it. So I started walking and I started dancing. And you will be shocked. Since August, I haven't held a walking stick in my hand. I walk by myself. I do all my things myself. And it all started from walking and dancing. And I was sharing this on Facebook, like I said, to encourage people that, you know what, only say this can't when you have given it a try, not because this one told you so. So, yeah, I walk now. And I went back for a checkup with my consultant. He was like, what happened? And I'm back to work as a nurse because I want to fund this transition into coaching, the things that I need to pay for. And that whole story itself just proves to me and to anybody I tell that your progress is in your hands, not in anybody else's. You can get a facilitator. I used to mentor people. By mentoring, you tell people what to do. And I think coaching is better because you facilitate people exploring themselves and finding out what they can do for themselves, and then don't have to keep coming back to you. A lot of people would say, oh, well, if they go, then I lose clients. But I think if somebody is happy with what you've done for them, they'll go and talk about you to somebody else who actually needs you. And it clears that space for you to be dealing with people who really need you rather than some person coming back because they have become dependent on you, which is why I chose coaching over mentoring. And that's me, really.
Absolutely fantastic. You know what? So much inspiration. And I'm so glad that you connected with me and asked, can I share my story? And when you said, I've got a really remarkable story to share, you clearly have. Absolutely fantastic. And you know what? There's a lot of people out there who, I don't knock it, people want to get into the coaching and mentoring business because it can be it's very enjoyable, first of all, because of the results that you can create in people.
Yeah.
And secondly, it can actually replace a full-time living and provide you a healthy living. But here's the thing, what I find, those people who have experienced challenges, those people who have had difficulties, and we've actually got like Matt Sharkey, he's in the room as well with us today. He's a good lad. He's actually a coach and a mentor himself. He's had difficulties too. So I know he's listening to you with great intent and smiling because he's really IDing with everything that you're saying.
Yeah.
Because he's shared that same journey with you as well, where you've had that challenge, where somebody's told you can't do something, or you're at the bottom of a pit that
Yeah.
you can't get out of,
Yeah.
that other people tell you can't get out of.
Yeah.
But despite everything, you still get out of it.
Mm.
Those are the stories that are worth sharing. And those are things that I can see the smiles on people's faces when they're listening to you. Okay. Because I've seen right from when you first came on, people didn't know what to make of you. Then your story started evolving, and I could see the changes in people's sort of their expressions. And all of a sudden now they're thinking, "Wow, this woman is pretty remarkable. She's not just a nurse. Okay, she's not just
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
she's actually got an incredible story of massive inspiration." One of the things I often ask is, what inspired you? I don't need to ask you what inspired you, because you just told us what inspired you. You know, and anybody who's had a story wants, and this is why I say everybody's got a story, but what we mustn't do, and you talked about that, there's no such thing as competition.
Yeah.
It's about sharing your story. It's never about competing, because if you were comparing your story with other people, there's people who've lost an arm, they've lost a leg, they lost both arms and legs, and you think, well, I never lost 2 arms and 2 legs. I only damaged 1 leg. I could never compete with that person.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so you don't have to lose all your arms, legs, fingers, toes, ears, eyes, noses to have a story to talk about. Okay. And it doesn't have to be a sob story as well. And that's not yours, is not a sob story, because you've never asked for sympathy.
No.
You were challenged with a physical car accident, and told that you won't be able to XYZ walk and never, you know, and you said, stop that. Why am I listening to somebody who can't? And I love that. Well, you know, don't accept people who tell you can't until you've actually tried yourself.
Yeah,
and there's
exactly.
a lot of people, there's a lot of experts and professionals all ready and waiting to tell you cannot.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the easiest thing to do, isn't it? Because sometimes if you're a professional, somebody being able to do something when they come to you, it means you're gonna have to contribute. And one thing I've noticed in the health sector is the more people are becoming unhealthy, it means the more the health professionals need to do to help them. And they just, one, they're not paid well enough to be motivated to do it. And then 2, they're so scared that it will fail that they would rather not try at all. So the easiest thing is to say, oh, we can't do this.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I tell you what, you know, the attitude that you have that you can't, that you know, nobody can tell me I can't, that is going to serve you as you now develop and grow your business.
Yeah. I've already been told this is too big for you. You can't do this. It's just you. And but I've already been there, so I let people say what they want to say, because we all have a right to a view. So yeah, but I don't let it stop me from taking that step ahead.
Absolutely fantastic. And there'll be a lot of people now who are telling you, Farzai, you're not 21. What are you doing giving up nursing? It's a professional career. What's all this nonsense about writing books and coaching people and mentoring people? Get back in your box. There's going to be people, well-meaning, good friends, are going to say, are you mad?
I'm already there.
And they're going to say, you can't do it. You're already there. You've got all the people coming out of it. And and the thing is, they mean well. They don't actually want anything bad for you. They just don't understand your journey. I tell you what, let's open it up to the floor. Let's do 5 minutes of Q&A. And we've got a couple of people who jumped onto the webinar who we need to go to for their introductions. Yeah, and then we're going to have a few more discussions. So who's got a, first of all, questions first, please. Who's got questions? Okay, we've got Hamish. Do you want to unmute yourself?
It's sort of a question and an observation in actual fact, because I can relate so very, very much to experiences you've just heard of, and I can actually say myself too that, like Farazai, I can't pronounce it.
Farazai.
Call me Fari. Everybody calls me Fari. It's easier.
Fari.
Yeah.
Fari. Right. Well, that's nice and easy. I can cope with that. You wouldn't have. I was a teacher in Reading, and you wouldn't believe the mixture of the population there. I think there was everybody from every country going, and the types of names, even the Irish ones I couldn't pronounce. Everybody seemed to alight in Reading. But one of one of the things is it is this wonderful thing about if we change our mind, we can change just about anything.
Yeah.
But one of the questions I was going to ask, which wasn't, is, are you familiar at all with the work of Dr. Jean Houston?
Jean?
Dr. Jean Houston. She's an American.
No.
In fact, she is absolutely, you will love her to bits. I've put a note on this in the chart here.
Okay.
Her name, but it's the empowerment, the work that she's doing all over the world with it's with Claire. I'm trying to think, I just lost it off my, but it's something like this. I've stuff in the note here. But it will, if you find Dr. Jean Houston, they are sort of empowering, particularly the female population all over the world.
Yeah.
Because we naturally, part of all of us, really, is bred into us from generations and generations. This is what we did, this is what we did, this is what we did. So we end up molding ourselves on that particular pattern, like our DNA. We can actually change your physical sort of DNA that we have in our bodies, but we can also change the mindset that our ancestors actually sort of produced for us.
Yeah.
And I really sort of love that sort of attitude. But I think the work that Dr. Jean Houston is doing, if you could actually sort of so readily available on YouTube and the likes, many of and it's a lot. The essence of it is so spiritual, so spiritual.
I'll look.
If you can actually want to take it that far.
I'll look into
Brilliant,
her.
Hamish.